So it's the day after the Komodo Island tour. Currently in Nusa Dua. We flew here this morning from Flores in Labuan Bajo, I think it's called. I thought I'd do a very quick video just to basically say how to book it. There's so many TikToks and what online that just basically tell you how or what happens when you're on the tour, but booking it is just, it's a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. So that's the aim of this video, and hopefully it helps some of you people out. So first and foremost, you can book it in advance. Some people said that they even booked it before they'd even flown out to Bali, which is a good way to do it. Just be mindful, do not that some of them may need a deposit before you actually do it, which I guess if you're fine to do that, then no problem. But if you're a bit cautious like I am, obviously I don't know at that point how you get around it. You just have to sort of book it when you're there. Now we were in Nusa Dua, and we were under the assumption that as long as you make your way to Lombok, there would be, you know, stalls and whatnot that you would go, you'd book it up and you could pretty much go, you know, the next day. Unfortunately that was not the case, or that isn't the case, but we did get very lucky, which I'll sort of explain in a second. So you can either be in Lombok already, or I think normally you can do it from Gili T. There's loads of different companies. I'll probably check the reviews and stuff. We went with one called Kareem the Explorer. So we got our way to Lombok, and we went into 2 or 3 of the little sort of huts that have that offer it, and they said no, can't do it, no, can't do it, no, can't do it, no, can't do it, nothing until Wednesday, nothing until next week. This was a Friday, and most companies, they do a Saturday trip and a Wednesday. Some of them maybe do a Sunday and then a Thursday. It sort of goes like that. So this was the Friday, so could get in. Everyone was saying Wednesday, 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 which we didn't want to sort of sit around for 4 days and do. And luckily we found a TikTok that said about the Caribbean Explorer. Rang them straight up, and they'd had a cancellation for the next day in a cabin. So luckily we were able to get in where they were into a cabin. But for most people, what they do is they get their way to Lombok. They either stay in a place called Sengigi, which is on the west side. It is about a half-hour drive from the port, which is Bangsal Port, where you're coming from. Or they'll travel 2 or 3 hours south from Bangsal Port to a place called Kuta. Don't get it mistaken, it's Kuta Lombok, not Kuta Bali, which is where you've flown from. Now, if you're in those 2 places, normally you're going to obviously spend 3 or 4 days there. Gives you time to then maybe book on for the Wednesday, the Saturday, whatever it may be. If you're in Sengigi or a place called Mataram, the company that you pick, they'll come and send a taxi for you, pick you up, take you to Bangsal Port, and then from there you'll basically travel to the east side of it and then pick the boat up. If you're from Kuta, I think you've got to pay an extra 100k, so £5 English, and you'll drive. I'll come pick you up, you'll drive up to Bangsal Port, and that's the starting point where you'll sort of put your bags, meet everybody and get your sort of boat, because sometimes there's 2 or 3 run with the same company. So it just depends where you are. Now Bangsal Port is the main starting point, so I guess you could even stay at Bangsal Port if you wanted to, but it's not nice, there's not much going on. Fortunately for us, we'd booked 1 night in Bangsal Port, literally like 5 minutes away, and we were able to get on the next day, like I said, because of the cancellation. If I had to do it again, I would probably spend 3 or 4 days on Lombok, stay in either Sengigi or Kuta, book it up in advance, 3 or 4 days, and then sort of just, they'll pick you up and they'll sort of take you where you need to go. Now, they're all about £180, so you're looking, I think the cheapest one's about 3.6 million. That would be for the deck, or you've got the cabin, where you pay 2 million each. The deck is cooler, but you're sort of on top of the boat with like 35 people. Cabins are for 2 people, so if you're just on your own, I think you do need to pay a little bit more, but just be warned, the cabins are at the bottom tier of the boat, therefore just above the engine. So A, it's very, very loud, and B, it's very, very hot. On the top deck, they have all the windows open, so when the boat's moving, fresh air's coming through. Obviously on the bottom deck, you do get a little bit of a breeze, but it's just not quite the same. You do in the cabins, to be fair, get a fan, but when it's that hot with the engine underneath you, it really doesn't make that much difference. Pardon me. What else is important to know? Also, when you get to Bangsal Port, you'll get asked if you want to buy drinks. You can't buy things on the boat, so you've kind of got to prepare how much alcohol you're going to be drinking. We went for sort of 20 bin tanks between both me and Chloe. We had a couple the first 2 nights, and on the 3rd night I basically just had the rest. But some people had like 18 big bottles and they just didn't even get through it. So if you're a big drinker, maybe go like 10 to 15. You're just gonna have 1 or 2, and then the last night sort of have the rest. I'd probably go like 10, 12 max. Also, if I was you, take like a pack of wet wipes, also a bag of snacks and drinks. So they do stop, to be fair, just before you get to the boat at a little sort of mini mart. So get yourself crisps, Oreos, big bottles of Coke Zero, whatever, and you'll be sorted for the 3 days. Now, if you're in a cabin, you can take your big bag into the cabin with you. If you're on the deck, though, they want all your big bags down below, so you've got to make up a small bag just with your things. Obviously, it's like necessities, so you want your towel, your toiletries bag. I'd probably put in 1 spare change of clothes, but apart from that, like, I think I wore a t-shirt once, and then I just had swim trunks for in the day and whenever you stop for snorkeling, and then evening after I've had a quick little shower on the boat, which be prepared, you're gonna have to have a shower in front of everybody, so you can't wash properly. That's just why it's handy to have the wet wipes. I just put on like pants and shorts, and that was it. They don't let you have your shoes and flip-flops actually on the boat. They put them into baskets, and then what they do is they then take the baskets onto the beaches if you stop for a hike up Kenmare Island, Padar Island. So yeah, just as well be prepared for that. I'd also take a little bit of cash, just because some of the places when you get off, you always spend about as you can tell, my throat is absolutely battered after that boat trip. But yeah, most stops you have 2-3 hours on the beach, so take a bit of cash. It was nice just to have like a cold Coke, because there's no actual fridges on the boat, and that was a nice little treat every now and again. But all in all, it was honestly unreal. When it's all finished, you obviously end up in Labuan Bajo. Because we're a cabin, I'd probably slept like only 9 or 10 hours over the whole 3 days. So we got a hotel, and I was just being that tired. I just said, let's just fly back to the mainland. But obviously, if you're a bit more hardcore, unlike me, I know a lot of people do quite like Flores, so it might be worth exploring if you fancy it. Flights and stuff, you don't need to panic about too much. There's like 3 or 4 a day from Labuan Bajo back to Bali, so don't think like you're not going to be able to get a flight back easily. Like, we literally only booked ours the night we arrived in Flores, and it was literally for like what, 12-18 hours ahead of time, so that's not a problem. I think it was only about £35 as well to fly back, so not a problem. Just also be warned, in Flores, no Gojeks, no grabs, so again, probably need some cash. We paid 100k to go from Labuan Bajo Marina to the hotel, which was right by the airport, so something like that price-wise fine. If anyone tries to charge you more, you know you're sort of getting conned. But other than that, really recommend it. Hope this video hasn't been too boring and people do find it helpful, because there isn't much, like I said, online. But yeah, next few videos will be in Nusa Dua and Uluwatu. We're here for about 5 days. Probably going to do some beach clubs, turtle conservation, and then I want to do surveyor and single fins on Sunday, so that'll be the plan. And then Chloe wants to go back to Ubud. Oh, sorry. Which I'd done last year, but she wants to go back, so I'm happy to do it again. I think we're going to do the whitewater rafting. So keep an eye out. Should hopefully be a couple more interesting videos coming up about Bali before we then move on to Thailand as of the 10th of October. But yeah, hope this helps. Let me know if you decide to do it, and let me know in the comments if you've done it and how you got on with it.